Shalom, shalom, giving all honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach 100% truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and to the elect. Shalom, this is your brother Ra'aya, back at it again. Got another video. And this is from Cash Jordan, and it says, Mall turns war zone as looters finish off California. So let me play the video.
Right now at 5:30, downtown vandalism and looting has some business owners calling for a curfew, but after-hours businesses say it's a major blow to their bottom line.
Yeah, they're struggling to make adjustments and stay afloat.
So the looting in Los Angeles is getting so bad that entire swaths of the city are now totally boarded up. And if your store looks like this one or this one, it's not just having trouble staying afloat, it's gonna stay like this because profitable businesses cannot operate in lawless war zone conditions, which these rioters plan to maintain for as long as possible.
All right, so this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. I'm gonna start at 14 and read on down. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe means death or destruction. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right? And I wanted to bring this out. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right? This is the main scripture that I was really trying to get, that a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right? Now this is not in its full capacity yet, but we can see the signs of this beginning, because like what's happening in California and in Chicago and these other states in these major cities with Jake, or the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans so-called, we can see that from the riots that's going on with the so-called illegal immigrants, that it's going to cause for them to call for martial law. We've seen that they already brought the military out there. They brought, first it was the National Guard, and they couldn't control the situation, so they had to bring in the Marines, I believe. And it seems as though that the situation is still is even worse than it was before, because now they're looting the malls and stuff, and this isn't even where they were at. It just seemed like it's taken over the whole city. The riotous sedition mindset, that spirit of sedition. Hold on. Right here in verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Meaning the people aren't going to regard the people who have power, who are in positions of power. They're not going to even regard them. You know what I mean? They're just going to go nuts. They're going to go crazy. So let's pull it back up.
Right now at 5:30, downtown vandalism and looting has some business owners calling for a curfew, but after-hours businesses say it's a major blow to...
Let's look up this word, sedition. Right? I believe it. I'm going to go here first, and then I'm going to pull the sedition. Conduct. Let's play the word.
Sedition.
Yep. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch, right? And we all know that a monarch is dealing with a king and a queen and these type and a prince, and these type of things, which we just read in the second Esdras 15. A sovereign head of state, especially a king, queen, or emperor, right? So let's go back. Let's get more. Okay. Yeah, I thought they would add, right here. Agitation, provocation, which it means to action or speech that makes someone annoyed or angry, especially deliberately. And look, I'm going to pull up other videos that show that this sedition is actually happening right now, but it's not at the intensity that it will be when that scripture is fully fulfilled. Hold on one second. So I got one video.
Against immigration raids that began in Los Angeles have spread to other cities, including New York, Chicago, and Milwaukee, with some clashes reported between protesters and police. California Governor Gavin Newsom used a TV address to call President Trump's use of federal powers an assault on democracy. Rallies against immigration.
That's one video. What you say?
Governor Gavin Newsom is accusing the president of abusing his power by mobilizing troops in Los Angeles. Newsom issued a warning to other states, saying, quote, California may be the first, but it clearly won't end here. Protests.
Now, remember we were just speaking about seditions, right? And remember what the seditions definition is that someone inciting a riot, or let's go back to it so we can be exact. It says conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch, right? And this guy, Gavin, whatever they say.
Governor Gavin Newsom is accusing the president.
Governor Gavin Newsom, the California governor, Gavin Newsom, is the one who said this, right? So is this not sedition? Is this not inciting? Now I'm gonna let them play it so you can hear it fully, but is this not that?
President of abusing his power by mobilizing troops.
He's accusing the president of abusing his power by mobilizing troops for doing this. First off, all these so-called, let's go into it. Hold on.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is accusing the president of abusing his power by mobilizing troops in Los Angeles. Newsom issued a warning to other states, saying, quote, California may be the first, but it clearly won't end here. Protests in LA over immigration raids stretched into a fifth night last night, and parts of the city's downtown are now under curfew. California Governor Gavin Newsom.
They're now under curfew, right? And we were just saying like that martial law will go into effect, right? And once that martial law goes into effect, you see these to the right, you see these police officers and I'm not sure if they're soldiers too as well, but you see these police officers, right, and how they're standing as a wall there. These eventually the armies, which they have been out there in Los Angeles, are going to declare martial law, where they're going to put up their ramparts, where they're going to basically stop the entry and exit of the city, and certain parts where you can't get in and get out of. They're going to cause a barrier to where you can't leave or come into the city due to how much the riots is. They don't really know that they're fulfilling prophecy, They're fulfilling whole prophecy. Wait a minute, one second. Let's go back to it. 2 Esdras 15:16 says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. And we just seen that invading, a small scale of that invading on the first video with Cash Jordan, when they were breaking certain northern and southern kingdom Israelites 2/3. They were breaking into the malls and stores and all of that. Says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? the governor of California would be considered a monarch, or he would be considered authority of a state, right? So that's just even more showing you like this scripture is going to be fulfilled, but it's not fulfilled in its entirety. And then it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? So if they're already doing curfews for people, they can't be outside, or at least in that particular area at a certain time. This is a precursor to what they're really going to do. And then draconian laws are going to go into effect real quick. And let's look up draconian laws just so you all know what it is. It's really harsh penalties for simple petty crimes, right? But we're going to, all right, draconian law meaning. And then, let me see. It says a draconian law is a law or rule that is extremely harsh, severe, or cruel. It is characterized by punishments that are disproportionately severe for the crime committed. The term originates from ancient Athens, where Draco, an Athenian lawmaker, created a written legal code with very strict penalties, including death for even minor offenses, right? Right? So these seditions, right, the inciting people to rebel against the authorities, is only going to cause the authorities to bring forth draconian law, right, which is basically like martial law, but it's not martial law. Let's go to martial law then. Martial law involves the temporary substitution of military authority for civilian rule, and is usually invoked in time of war. If didn't nobody know what time it was, it's time for civil war, and you can feel it in the air. And let me see. And it is usually invoked. It's really time for all of the wars. You know, if anybody's watching, and I'm pretty sure all of the Akim out there is watching. Those who have eyes to see, right? Those who won't, these things will not creep upon them like a thief in the night, you know, that Thessalonians. But those who are watching, they know what time of day it is. You know, matter of fact, let me pull that up too. I might as well pull that up. Let me get this out of there. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse, let's say, because really we can read the whole thing from 1 to 8, right? We're going to read it real quick. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. We don't have any need that, Salakia, we don't have any need that we should be written to, because we are watchers, we are watchmen. All right. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahushua so cometh as a thief in the night, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right? But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day shall overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Because we are of the truth, and we are of the light. Like, we can see. You know, one thing about light is, if you're in the world, say you're in a building, right? And that building has no light. and you have one light, and your light is the flashlight, and you're stuck in this building. This building is filled with nothing but darkness, right? The light that you have will allow you to be able to maneuver and get through this building without harm or without too much trouble, because you have a light that guides you through the darkness, right? And that light is allowing you to see things that other people say, if they were in the building as well that didn't have a light, they would not be able to see. They would be stumbling around that building like a blind person groping around, you know what I mean? So children of light and the Salakia, let me read it from the beginning, verse 5. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, right? Because, everybody else believe that this, this wicked this wicked place that we're in, Babylon the Great, aka America, is it's just going to keep going and thriving. And then for some reason they, and I really know these scriptures to be the truth, because I've spoken to many people, and I'm really trying to peep if anybody's even considering what's happening right now. And don't nobody even care. They're worried about the most dumbest things you can think of. and I'm like, man, these scriptures are true. Like, you can't deny this. You can't deny this. Like, these people are truly sottish. They're truly stupid, right? Oh man. But verse 6, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation, right? For Yahweh has not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, right? Right? Who died for us, that we, whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him, right? So this is the reason why, Akim out there, this is why we are the only ones who seem to be awoke in this time. It seems like everybody is asleep or drunk, and not even in the drunk as in, but they are literally drunkards out here too, but not even in that state, like using drunk as a state of mind. People who are drunk typically don't care what's going on. They tend to not be self-aware. They tend to be all over the place, and really like in a state of confusion, and not very clear or level-headed in things. So that's the way it's being perceived. But let me actually get this other go back to this video. Hold on. So right, I went on here and I was reading the AI overview of this second Esdras 15 and 17, right? So it says, the passage, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to do so, is found in second Esdras 15 and 17, right? This verse is part of a larger prophecy describing various calamities and hardships that will befall humanity. The inability to enter a city is specifically attributed to the pride of cities, leading to destruction and fear, as well as the lack of pity among people. You got to think about that when they use this word pride of cities. Because remember in the last video we was just watching concerning that governor of California, how he spoke against the president of the United States, Big T. He said it with such pride. These states are individual, almost like sovereign countries in themselves. But they, and let me take that back, not sovereign, but they're like many countries in themselves. They're just all connected. They have all different ways of doing things. Not everywhere is the same. way. Like how they do things in Texas is different than how they do things in Michigan. And this will tell you, like, based on who's controlling that specific state or territory, things are ran differently, right? So the person, and I'm bringing this back to say basically like the pride of that governor of California, and the fact that he even made an announcement saying that this is going to come to other cities near you, like it's basically coming to a town near you. That's prideful in itself, because it's like he is completely disregarding a power that's ahead of him, which is the president, and he's coming out himself and go and actively raising up and puffing up his chest like he's better than the president is. And, you know, that's nothing but pride in itself. But that very pride is going to cause many people in his state to be destroyed by the military. You know, and it's all prophecy. It's all things that surely should happen and will happen. But it's like, you know, it's just confirmation to let you all know, like, look, things is going to get crazy, right? But let me keep reading this. It says, this verse is part of a larger prophecy describing various calamities and hardships that will befall humanity. The inability to enter a city is specifically attributed to the pride of cities, leading to destruction and fear, as well as the lack of pity among people, right? And we seen these videos. It don't seem like they have no pity towards nobody, because stuff is going crazy in Cali right now. And, you know, I'm not sure how far it's going in New York, but we can, you know, I'm going to get that, before this video close out, Yahweh Rochers, I'm going to pull that video up so we can fully see what's going on in New York. But, you know, as that governor said in California, that it is going to move over to the other cities. And he wasn't being prideful saying that. But the fact that he's puffing up his chest against Big T, it's like, man, you really don't even know. He's that cruel lord. He's that the king of Babylon. He about to destroy everything here, man. But, you know, that's how it go, yo. But so I wanted to get these things, though. It says, this section describes the societal breakdown where people are unable to move freely between cities due to the chaotic and fearful state of the world, right? Now, I had a dream the other day, and I didn't even post it or make a video about it, but I guess I can kind of put this into it. Now, it was, what day was it? It had to be either Saturday or Sunday when I woke up, and it was a dream. Like it was real. It felt very real, right? Now the dream was going into that very verse, the verse that I'm pulling up, the second address 15 and 17, right? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. I had a dream about this really about the whole chapter of 15 and second address 15. I had a dream about this, but I figured it would take too much time, but I could still remember the dream like it was yesterday. But let me go off into it, right? Stop rambling. So in my dream, I was in my vehicle and I was traveling downtown, and I'm not sure exactly what city I was in, but I was in a city where the bridge, you know how you'll see certain bridges and they'll lift up and lift down, where I guess they lift up to allow, because a lot of those bridges, water is up under the bridges, and then they'll have large ships, that's shipping containers and stuff that go past, and they'll have to raise up the bridge to allow the shipping container to go past or whatever or whatnot. But I was just noticing that the bridge, actually I didn't even realize that the bridge was going up, right? So I'm on the bridge, I'm about to get on the bridge, and I'm in my vehicle, and all of a sudden traffic came to a complete halt, came to a complete stop, right? So I'm like, what's going on? And I started noticing everybody was getting out of their vehicles. So I'm like, oh, well, something might be going down. Let me go and check it out and see what's going on. At first, I wasn't going to even check it out. I just thought that eventually the traffic would keep going. But it seems as though in the dream, I was sitting there for a while. And I'm like, man, let me just get on up out of here. And as I was getting out the vehicle, and I was walking forward, because many people were walking all throughout traffic and stuff. It was like everybody was getting out of their vehicles and started walking. And I'm like, whoa, it must be really something going on, right? So I get to walking and all that, and I realized that people were starting to panic, and it was just like chaos breaking out all on this bridge and stuff. And I'm like, man, I gotta get out of this bridge. I either gotta get off this bridge, or I gotta cross the bridge. Like, I gotta get over to the other side of the bridge. But I wasn't aware at the time, though, in my dream, that the bridge goes up and down, right? So I'm wondering why it's people are like losing their minds and stuff. So I'm guessing the controller of the person who controls whether the bridge goes up and down or not ended up dying, I'm guessing, in the dream. Like, I guess they got killed by somebody, and in the chaos, because while I was on the bridge, I didn't realize that it was full on anarchy going on outside, of the people that was me and the people that was on the bridge in the first place. Like, I didn't realize this until later on in the dream, and I'll expound upon that. But so I get to the part of the bridge where it's going up and down, and I'm like, you know what? I think I can make it, because the bridge was almost timing itself to where it was going up, and then it was coming down, but it was going straight up, and then it was coming down. It wasn't no like stop time or whatever for it to like stop and pause and then let you drive over the bridge or whatever. Like, no, you had to time this bridge. And this bridge came up and came down pretty quick, so you had to be real fast in order to run on the bridge enough to get to the end of the next part of the bridge in order to cross the bridge or whatever. And me, I'm pretty fast, in the real world, so I thought I could run and do so, right? And I seen other people, and I didn't know why I was seeing dead bodies right where the entering part to run on this bridge, right? But I realized it once I started running on the bridge. As I was running, there was other people running behind me too, trying to get across this bridge. Now I'm running. I'm like, I'm gone. I'm on it. And then I get to a certain part, and the bridge was coming up. And so, you know how if you're on a flat surface, and if a bridge comes up on an incline, you're going to fall off that bridge. There's nothing to hold on to. You're going to fall off that mud, right? So I got almost to the end of the bridge to cross the bridge to get to the other side of the bridge or whatever, to get to the next, I guess, city. And I got all the way up there, and the bridge inclined so much to where I couldn't even stand. I couldn't even hold or grab onto nothing. I was just free falling. And as I fell, I'm thinking in myself, I'm like, I'm about to die, and I'm about to wake up from this dream, because I could tell like it was a dream, but I was like, I'm about to wake up from this. But I didn't. I ended up hitting these people on the way down. I guess it was like dead bodies or whatever that was on the ground, because they attempted to do the same thing. They just hit the ground, and they didn't have anything cushioning them. They just hit the cement. So I ended up hitting the dead bodies and stuff. And although I was hurt, I still was mobile. I was still able to move. So I got to moving and stuff, and I ended up getting off the bridge. Eventually, I ended up getting off of that bridge. But my whole way getting off of that bridge, it was pure chaos, madness. People were killing each other, everything. So I'm trying to get through downtown, and I'm walking at this point, and I'm like hiding. I'm running up under trucks. And I'm hiding up under trucks, and it's fires everywhere. It's fires in the stores and all of that. And people are going nuts. They're shooting. Police is out there, but the police aren't doing their job. They're actually running for their lives and stuff, right? And so I finally make it back to what we will consider, I guess, the hood or like just the neighborhood period, right? And I make it back here and I noticed that it was calm and stuff, as if the people in the neighborhood didn't even know what was happening downtown. Like it seems as though even the news wasn't even out there downtown. The people of the news didn't even be able to go out there and broadcast what was happening. So I'm pretty sure people didn't even know, except for this one house that I had stumbled upon, and I was leaving to go to get through their backyard so I can get around and stuff, because I was still in this like paranoid, scared state. And I'm like, the whole time I was praying though, but I was in a scared state and stuff, and I was like, man. And I just didn't want nobody to see me. I didn't want nobody to see me because I didn't know how it was going to go, right? But I ended up hiding